It's Toby.
Yo, welcome back to the N.y.a show. Here we are, I think episode 50. What are we at? Episode 50, 51. I appreciate everybody that checked out last week's show. I hope that you guys are tuning in for this week's show. I recently transferred how I work my YouTube account, so now I'm more inside of the freaking this actual YouTube account, watching all my shows and commenting on shit versus being inside of this other thing that was inside my other premium account. So I had to make a few changes, but I got it right. And here we are back again so that I can discuss what's been going on recently. I got to go ahead and switch my screen, make sure I got it right. Here's the hot story that I'll be covering on today's show. I originally heard about it back in January, but we hadn't got to the settlement part. So here we are 4 days ago, and I got out a release of the rest of the story. So Shell pays 111 million over 1970s oil spill in Nigeria. Here we are. The oil giant Shell will pay a Nigerian community 111 million over an oil spill more than 50 years ago. A spokesperson said that the payment would mark the full and final settlement to the Ijama Ibubu community over an oil spill during the 1967 to 1970 Biafran War. And what happened during this time was basically there was a civil war that happened in Nigeria. I think I may take another opportunity to go through this story here, just a few more details on the follow-up 50 years later. But it was led by this man here, Mr. Yakubu Gohan. Look, even I pulled up a picture on plunged Nigeria into the wilderness. So boom, you know what I'm saying? That he's passed away at this time, and the Biafran War was also fought against another man in Nigeria by the name of Lieutenant Colonel Adu Megwa Ajuhu. I hope I didn't butcher that too much. He has passed away too. He died in London back in 2011. So look, real war ready looking fella. Those two were the ones that fought this war during this time. So bring me back to my story that I'm talking about. The company has maintained that the damage was caused by third parties, back to oil giant Shell paying the Nigerian community for this oil spill that happened. So a Nigerian court fined Shell the equivalent of 41 million in 2010, but the company launched a number of unsuccessful appeals. Last year, the Supreme Court said that with interest, the country's Supreme Court, not our Supreme Court, just for y'all not listening, said that the interest, the fine owed by the company was more than 10 times greater than the original judgment. Although Shell denies this, the case was launched in 1991. Shell has previously said it was not given the opportunity to defend itself against the claims and began international arbitration over the case earlier this year. They ran out of tricks and decided to come to the terms. Lawyer Lucius N.y.a, who represented the local community, who quoted as saying by the AFP news agency, the decision is a vindication of the resoluteness of the community for justice. When the case dates back decades, pollution from the leaking oil pipelines continue to be a major problem in the Nigeria Delta, and it's a continued problem. Not gonna play that video because it's super sad, so I'm not trying to make it too sad, but just know shit is fucked up in Nigeria. Earlier this year, in a separate case, a Dutch appeals court ruled that Shell's Nigerian branch was responsible. You know they're gonna put it on their branch of it, but I'm pretty sure that branch is not ran by Negroes. Earlier this year, in a separate case, a Dutch appeals court ruled that Shell's Nigerian branch was responsible for damage caused by leaks in the Nigeria Delta from 2004 to 2007. The court ordered Shell Nigeria to pay compensation to Nigerian farmers, while the subsidiary and its Anglo-Dutch parent company were told to install equipment to prevent future damage. The F-overs continue. A group of farmers launched the case in 2008, alleging widespread pollution. Shell argues that the leaks were the result of a sabotage. It may be a word, but we don't have that information because they haven't done the further detailed work that it takes to find out the answer to that. And I just want to throw a few things in here when it comes to the impact of this of this oil being inside of the water. Here's a couple talking about what happened to their child. When the baby was first born, he wasn't breathing, but when the doctors were taking care of him, he started to breathe. They took the baby to the house to bathe him, and the baby collapsed. He only lived for a few hours. Here's another family here. Baranada Saturday and Chief Bira Saturdays. That's their last name is Saturday. Baby's boy died 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying? The farmers area is always deep with the oil. You can go there, you can perceive the odor, says the chief, who is suffering from asthma since the spill. So is this spill has also caused unnamed amount of medical damage to the people there that we may never really fully know what all the damage that is done to these people and that their health. There's another story that I won't dwell too into because I want to give it its proper justice. So is crude oil killing children in Nigeria? This is another article that was done by BBC in relation. It was a 3-part in relation to the Shell paying out this settlement now that we're, that we're going through. And like I said, I want to touch more on this as well, just because at the end of the day, this is a civil war that I don't know most people know that it happened. And just to know that there's things that happened during that war that's been killing people, killing babies, and making it impossible to get things done the way that these people like to get things done. Here it is. This is a common name of Royal Dutch Shell's Nigerian operated carry out through 4 subsidiaries, Primary Shell Petroleum Company of Nigeria Limited. Yeah, I guarantee that they are the ones ruling the industry, the ones that are ruling it. I wish I could see a picture of the people that are in control of this, but I don't think that the people look like us. I would do a little bit more research, but I really don't think if the head of a big company like Shell, even if it's not the Nigerian branch that was ran by us, but the war was fought between, the Biafran War was fought between these 2 individuals here at that time. And as I said, I would dwell more into that story, most likely on next week's show. We'll do like an in-between show to give a few more details on this Biafra war that happened. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping that this money gets to these people, because these people are living terrible. Everybody living terrible. You can't grow, you can't eat. The fish coming out extra small because they can't grow in the water that got oil growing in. So take some time to look into what I talked about today on the show. I hope that y'all can appreciate the story. Glad that this community is about to get this money because they need it for massive changes in the area, massive infrastructure, massive cleaning of the water and filtering. So once again, it's the N.y.a show. I believe this is show number 51. I appreciate everybody that tuned into the show this week. Hope to see you guys next week, and that'll be it for me. That's the N.y.a show.